Global Punk Review with Dustin Allard, Tex McNeil.
Not Tex McNeil.
Tex
Newman.
Bill McNeil. Tex Newman.
That's
all former
Richard
members.
Tex Newman to my worldwide global punk fans.
All former members of Shock Therapy, and we're here today gathering to pay tribute to Itchy and Shock Therapy. He passed away a month ago.
Where's Cliff?
Cliff is back there queuing up a laundry CD.
Go ahead, fire away.
I want to get a feel, Dustin. What's your best recollection of the Shock Therapy moment on stage?
Was in the Zwischenfall in 1990 on the Cancer Tour in Germany. It was a really important venue, and we fucking knocked them dead. We played right in the heart of the Ruhrgebiet in North Rhine-Westphalia, which is like the scene, the center of the scene and we just nailed it. We were at the hot spot of the moment, in the hot part of the country at the moment, and we nailed the show, and it was absolutely on fire.
And what year was that?
1990.
1990.
Yep, on the Cancer Tour. It was October, late October, early November.
Tex, do you have a moment that just defines your time with Shock Therapy on stage?
Well, I don't think that you can really define anything as far as some of the situations we were in on stage or off stage. So I had a lot of good times with Itchy. I miss Itchy. I've known Itchy for 25 years, since he was 19 years old, and we played in a lot of bands together, a lot of different styles of music. Shock Therapy was one of them. We butted heads a lot, but I always liked them and always enjoyed being able to go out and play with the band and play those good old songs. I like them, and I don't really have anything bad to say about him, because he did a lot of good things for me, and I hope I did a few good things for him. And in the end, my only regret is that I wish he wasn't so self-destructive. That I think he had a lot more to offer, and that in the end, no one let him know. So goodbye, Itchy. You know, it's good knowing you.
Thank you. Bill, your experiences with the man and on stage and off stage. You know, what recollections do you have?
I had a lot of great times with him. Off stage, he was a very, you know, he metamorphosed to from Itchy to Greg, and you know, a lot of people outplay how maybe outrageous or things that he did. He was a very personal man as well, but he was an artist. One thing on stage, though, there was a club here in Detroit called Bookies. It was quite popular. And one time we were on stage, and he had a tendency to lose it once in a while, which is fantastic for live shows. But sometimes it wasn't so fantastic when. But what happened is there was like a lot of kids were jumping on stage, and kind of this was like a pre-mosh pit because it was a smaller club. They were diving and writhing on the stage, and he just had a very good time kicking them and embracing the whole experience.
Are you talking about the time ALD played this? And they kept sending little messages up to me. I went to the bar. Itchy was having a pissing contest with Jimmy Doom back there, and we were on this show at Bookies, and it was a full house, and Itchy was progressively getting more drunk, you know, every 10 seconds, you know, and by the time we hit the stage, ALD had gone out and played real well. They'd done a real good show. And people were excited, and Itchy was real drunk. I mean, beyond drunk. He was in the realm of sluggish at the fastest he could move.
Oh, he was
And,
reaching another state of consciousness. Which
yeah, he had reached something, but he had reached something
It's
to
our
the
problem if
point.
we're not with them.
We're up on stage and every song where, you know, the messages, little cryptic messages would come and something, a hand would come up with the message and hand it to me and it would say, Tex, what's going on? You know, this was the first one. Then we get to the next song and Itchy's just spitting and throwing shit at the crowd, pulling his dick out and fuck you motherfuckers. You know, the fucking Jimmy Doom, you motherfucker. You know, another little hand. The hand comes up with a note in it and it says, Tex, what's wrong with Itchy? And then we get to another song and by this time he's just crashing into everything. He's just knocking everything over.
It was madness.
We had this guy, Ted Meek, playing drums, who was another complete maniac lunatic, you know, and between him and Itchy, the drums are getting smashed up, and they're both yelling and screaming and throwing shit at the crowd, and then finally the hand comes up with this other message that says, Tex, get this mess off the stage.
Take one, because the whole stage and everything kind of like shifted because the big speakers and everything kind of moved at the same time. It was quite an experience.
Now, if there's any recollections about tours, I've heard stories about people hanging from hotels and various
Yes.
road antics.
The hanging from the balcony in the hotel was in the 1991 Great Confuser tour, right? And Greg was out of his mind and he wanted to go out on the roof, which was like a 22 pitch, and he, of course, slipped off, grabbed onto the rain gutter. Everything in Europe, it's tile and porcelain and stuff. It's not plastic and aluminum like we have here. So it was a solid, and he was hanging off of it about 60 feet above a concrete little patio area with directly under the window a bike rack with a bunch of metal bars that were like into the cement, right? If he would have fallen down, he would have been like one of those cocktail eggs that you just slice. He would have landed right on the bike rack. Okay? So he's hanging there, and Cliff reaches out and is holding on to Greg's arm, and Greg's pulling Cliff's shirt off. And so Joe Santori, who used to play keyboards, grabs the back of Cliff's shirt and the back of Cliff's belt and is pulling him, and they're still both falling out the window. And I don't remember who the next person in line was, but eventually there was like 6 people hanging on to this slowly sliding out of the window mass of bodies, hanging onto body clothes and parts and belts and whatever they could get a hold of. Finally, the momentum stopped and everybody started reeling it in slowly. In the meantime, Itchy was not helping because he was going, he's hanging there kicking and swinging and flailing around, trying to get dropped. And he didn't get dropped. So he bought another 15 years right there at that moment.
Well, he had already done that before when we did the first tour. We were in Stuttgart, and to make a long story short, we had these soldiers that were American soldiers that had been following us around.
Right.
And they just complaining at all these shows that, you know, they hadn't, you know, been fucking in a long time and this and that, and it was boring in Germany and all that. And we finally played this show in Stuttgart. By the time we got there, Itchy was drunk. He was hammered on French table wine, and he couldn't operate again. This is sort of like that Bookies thing. And these soldiers come up and they're all bragging and stuff. They had these 2 little girls with them, and these cute little girls. And you know, we had this pickup drummer with us, Philip, who was a German, and this and that. And we got together